So I'm going to start with snacks, and then I'm going to talk about some meals. So the number one thing that before any of this can fall into place for yourselves is pre-planning and prep. So my one piece of advice before we get into the meals and snacks is, take like 1 to 2 days of your week. Sunday is a really common like meal prep Sunday, and just do a little bit of that work in the kitchen to have things ready to go. Like I have these cucumber slices here, washed, they're sliced, like everything's good to go. So they're really accessible. But what happens if I don't take the time to prep these in advance is I have one cucumber in its plastic container, and it's going to sit in the fridge. And every time I open the fridge, I'm going to see that cucumber, and I have to put in a little bit of effort to slice it and, and prep it. And that's enough to deter me from not eating that option. So spending some time to prep these veggies, prep these fruits, prep these foods, make it so much more accessible and easy to follow through on eating them after that's done. And then you really set yourself up for success for the week. So Sunday is a great day for meal prep or food prep, and then a midweek food prep is usually really beneficial, just to top you up so you can get through account for all 7 days. And I'm not talking an entire day's worth of meal prep. There's so many time efficient strategies, and so many quick options, and even really cool appliances like the Instant Pot or a blender or a slow cooker or a rice cooker, right? You don't have to slave away in the kitchen for, hours and hours on end to just do a little bit of the foundational work to really set you up. So that's really key. So that would be the first step, is just planning for that. Now, in terms of snack options, so having healthy snacks are really beneficial because they tide you over in between meals. So you're not, you're not going really far in between meals without eating. And what happens when that does happen is you end up being ravenous, and you could eat the world, and then you tend to resort to a not so healthy option and overeat that option too when you're in that position of being so hungry. So having snacks to tide you over so you feel satiated throughout the day can help with managing your portions, managing your healthy choices, feeling satisfied, and nourishing your body properly with really good foods. So some snack options, there's tons, right? Like, there's everything. There's healthy options and there's unhealthy options. So like typical unhealthy snacks you want to avoid is like, vending machine chips or chocolate bars, anything processed, prepackaged. Restaurant food is risky because it's often, even the often perceived healthier options are loaded with, salt and fat and calories and additives and things like that. So what you can do at home for snacks. So obviously fruits and vegetables, I'm always going to talk about and put that at the forefront, because as adults, we should be getting 7 to 10 servings a day, every day. And a lot of people fall short of that. So easy fruits and vegetables, there's, having an apple, having a banana. I have some sliced, like cubed up cantaloupe in my fridge. So pieces of fruit are easy because that's the most accessible thing. So just having fruits on hand all the time is really easy. And something like an apple, you don't even have to refrigerate. So that's really nice. Vegetables, I have my cucumber slices right here. Things like snap peas or broccoli or whatever vegetables you like go for what you enjoy. I don't like cauliflower, so I don't really eat it. I like cucumber, so I eat it a lot, right? So pick your favorites. And if you find that it doesn't appeal to you to eat them plain, then maybe have some hummus with it, or a calorie-wise dip, or a homemade type of dressing or something to spice it up a little bit. You don't have to just eat plain vegetables, right? So you can get a little creative with it. There's actually, I've taken it to the level with fruits and vegetables where I'm really getting creative. So this is a healthy snack option. Anyone remember ants on a log from when they were a kid? So these never get old as adults. So you have celery, a little bit of natural peanut butter, just in moderation. And then I have some reduced sugar craisins. So you get like a nice crunch, you get the salty, you get the chew, you get the sweet. So it's a really, really great snack. This is really kid friendly if you guys have kids at home too, obviously. So it's a fun, creative way to get some veggies in that really taste good. Another fruit option, this is a trick that most people don't know, is in my airtight container here, I have apple slices and cinnamon. So these apple slices and cinnamon will not brown, and they will store in my fridge almost all week. The cinnamon acts as a natural preservative, and when you're sealing it in an airtight container, it actually stores well. So having apple slices and cinnamon, another really, no matter what age you are, a really great nutritious option to snack on. Something a little different, something you know, a little bit more creative than just eating an apple, which sometimes isn't always appealing. And then the classic snack pack. So this is one of my favorite snack options because, you know, when it comes to fruits and vegetables, they're the healthiest foods on the planet for us, but we don't always want to eat them because, you know, they don't taste as good as like a cheeseburger or, you know, something less nutritious, right? So my trade-off is always have fruits and vegetables with every meal and every snack, but also treat yourself to some good tasting foods. So I have a snack pack here. So I'm gonna have my, you know, my carrots, my broccoli, and my cucumbers in here. So I'm gonna have that because it's balanced, it's low calorie, it's really healthy. I also have a half of a hard-boiled egg in here, so some protein. And then I have 2 homemade energy bites. So these are really awesome and really easy to make. They're no-bake energy bites. There's hundreds of recipes online for them. They're a nice sweet treat. Everybody loves them. So this is a nice little trade-off because it's, you know, you eat your vegetables, but you get something nice and tasty and sweet in there too, almost like a dessert. Another, if you have a sweet tooth, another really good snack option would be, these are organic figs. I get them from Costco. Figs and dates are, they're higher in natural sugar, but they're a really nice natural dried fruit option too, which really hits the spot. So there's ways that you can prep, and like these snack packs, like I have 6 of them in my fridge ready to go. I just, you know, set up an assembly line when I'm doing my food prep, and, you know, I'm just throwing the veggies in, throwing the energy balls in, you know, putting the lid on nice and tight, and then I store it in the fridge and it's good to go. So when you leave for work the next day, instead of going with no food and then making not so healthy choices, you are ready to go with snacks and meals, which we'll get to. So that just, it makes it easy. Like it's really about the planning though, right? So if you have, you know, depending on what your household looks like, you know, it's great to have the support amongst each other at the office, right? You know, even different challenges you could do. But it's also, you know, nice depending on who's in your household, you know, if there's some, you know, help or joint effort or, you know, what that looks like can be helpful too when you're planning food prep and things like that. So those are some snack ideas. A few other off the top of my head before we get into meals. So Greek yogurt is a really good snack option. Cottage cheese, if you don't have a sensitivity to dairy, those are high protein snack options, which tend to keep you feeling satisfied. You can make a little bit of a parfait and have some fruit with that. So those are some good ones. This one is one of my favorites too. So this is like rice cakes. These are only 35 calories, gluten-free. And I put on some low sugar jam and some natural honey, and then my rice cake sandwich, and I just put them together and I eat them like that. It's surprisingly satisfying. It's like eating a sandwich, but for only like less than 150 calories. So that hits the spot too, those rice cakes, and they have flavored ones too at the store. So those are also really good. Cheese you want to watch. So dairy products you want to have in moderation. Cheese is very, very calorie dense. Any fat, so nuts, seeds, avocado, cheese, full fat yogurt, things like that, those are healthy fats. But if you're watching your waistline, then you want to be careful because fats have over double the amount of calories per gram than proteins and carbs. So if you're a cheese lover, I usually go with like a light Baby Bell or a light Laughing Cow, which are kind of hits the spot for cheese, but it doesn't come with the hundreds of calories that cheese normally does, the typical cheese. So just watch everything in moderation, and portion control is key. So for actual meals, the same rules apply. You want to prep in advance. You want to pre-package individual options, and don't fall for the misconception that you have to eat vegetables and, quinoa for the rest of your life. And, that's what healthy eating looks like. Do you want to know what I had for lunch today? And I'm going to show you chicken fingers and fries with some veggies, of course. Always have veggies and fruit with your meals. But eating healthy does not have to taste bad, right? You can get so creative. You can think outside the box. There are thousands of recipes out there that aren't necessarily time consuming, that don't have a million ingredients. So for me, I made these last night, and I made, so this is boneless, skinless chicken breast with a whole wheat panko with egg whites and then oat flour. I used for the light breading, and then I have potatoes, just a modest amount of oil, and I baked them. So, and then having that with vegetables, they're super balanced. So, I mean, who doesn't love chicken fingers and fries, right? But you can make a healthier version if you think outside the box. So there's fun things like that. Using appliances like a slow cooker or an Instant Pot, especially I find like coming into the winter months too, there's so much you can do in mass quantities that make it easy to have food ready to go for the week. So things like soups or stews, there's tons of slow cooker recipes as well that are so flavorful, so easy. You can put so many ingredients in one pot and then just leave it, and it does everything on its own, and that makes for really excellent meals when you put it all together. So there are some staples that I would recommend. I'm not sure if there's any vegetarians here or not. If there are, just if you have any food allergies or anything you want me to touch on to work around your sensitivities, then just let me know in the chat. But some staples that I recommend that you can do in mass quantities, like let's say on a Sunday, and have them ready to go in the fridge. So I have my 3 containers right here. So my staple in the morning is I have steel cut oats on hand. So if I have oats ready to go, I'm in a hurry for work, I want to eat something nutritious before I leave for the office, then I have pre-cooked oats. I'm simply going to scoop them, put them in the bowl with an appropriate serving size, warm them up. Usually I'll take, some frozen fruit, and have a really easy, less than 5-minute breakfast, because I've made these already, which are really easy. And you can do these so many different ways. You can do oats in a rice cooker, an Instant Pot, a slow cooker, overnight oats in the fridge. So they cook in lots of different ways, and they're really nutritious, full of fiber. You can add protein powder and almond milk to them and make them taste really, really good too. Again, this doesn't have to be eaten as is, bland and boring. You can add things to it, dried fruit, maybe a few slivered almonds, and dazzle it up a little bit. So it almost tastes like a dessert for breakfast, honestly. That's how I eat it anyway. So that's good. So there's the oats. Another thing that I do for breakfast, they're in my fridge right now. I don't have them, but I do smoothies. So remember how I was mentioning how adults should be getting 7 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day in order to feel your best and for your body to function optimally and all these great benefits. One of the easiest ways you can do that, like getting 5-6 servings of fruits and veggies in one shot, is to have it in a form of a smoothie, because you can hide a bunch of spinach in there. You can't even taste it. You can blend a bunch of frozen fruit. I do them. I fill my whole blender to the brim and store my smoothies in the fridge in a airtight, spill-proof with a lid, and just shake it vigorously before consuming. And it's so easy to get such amazing nutrition in one shot. Smoothies are also portable, so if you're running late for work and you need to guzzle some breakfast down, that's like a good grab and go option. Even for lunch, or just having something like that is pretty convenient. So smoothies are also a great option. So some staples for breakfast that you can pre-do and pre-plan for. And then for lunches or dinners, so rice and chicken, I mean, they're staples, right? Like rice is rice. Chicken, you can get really creative with it because it's so versatile. So I already showed you my chicken fingers, which were homemade and still nutritious. The other half of the pack of chicken that I did was shredded chicken. So this is a barbecue shredded chicken I did in the Instant Pot, which was super easy. And this is a great staple to have on hand because you can combine this with rice and vegetables, and have a plain old lunch like that, you can dazzle it up with some, you know, some sauce like mustard or hot sauce, or there's lots of ways to flavor your food that won't add a ton of, you know, extra calories or fat or salt and things like that. So you can keep it pretty simple like that, but you can also use chicken or, you know, different types of proteins or beans if you're a vegetarian with things like salads. You can put them in wraps or sandwiches using whole wheat or whole grain options. So that makes it pretty versatile. I'm a big fan of the rice bowls because as long as you guys have a microwave at the office, then having your, you know, your starch, your protein, and then a whole bunch of vegetables, you just throw it in the microwave, mix it all up, and then, you know, it's really easy and it makes for a really filling lunch and balanced lunch option. So you might be wondering, well, where are my vegetables with these staple foods or my fruit? So one tip when it comes to, again, fruits and vegetables, when you're combining those for a balanced lunch or dinner for that matter, is the easiest way to get those in for the cheapest, most time efficient option is pulling them right from frozen. So you don't need to steam fresh vegetables and then package them up with your protein and starch and then warm them up again when you go to eat them for lunch. You're actually double cooking them that way, and that's what makes them mushy. I pull them right from frozen. So I have like frozen broccoli on hand, frozen green beans, you know, mixed vegetables, the Asian blend, you know, whatever you like for vegetables. And I literally take the big bag from frozen and I dump them in my individual containers when I am assembly lining them for my lunches for the day. And then I just microwave them when I want to, only one time I'm warming them up, when I want to eat them. So it doesn't double cook them that way. And contrary to what some people think, fruits and vegetables are actually, frozen fruits and vegetables are often a better choice than fresh. So they're frozen at their nutritional peak, right? So they have the most nutrition, they're frozen. They don't go bad. And unfortunately, like a lot of people are notorious for having the crisper in their fridge, you know, with some spoiled fruits and vegetables. It happens to the best of us. So frozen, you don't need to worry about that. The shelf life is very long, and it's also more affordable than fresh produce, right? Is to buy frozen for both fruits and vegetables. So having frozen fruits and veggies on hand are awesome for that reason. It's easy to dump those veggies in for lunches and dinner options. And then for fruit, great for smoothies, great for oatmeal, you know, or whatever, you know, healthy pancakes with some frozen fruit. It's easy to thaw them, right? So that's a really, really useful tip that I would recommend in terms of having those types of food on hand. So those are some staples for sure. I know we didn't really talk about the benefits of healthy eating. I'm sure you guys know a lot about why eating healthy is so important, but you know, we're obviously in a pandemic right now. So which is difficult for a lot of people, of course. And so eating healthy can actually boost your immune system. So I don't think it's ever been more relevant now to take that into consideration. We do not want to be getting sick, right? And when we're eating healthy food and, you know, we're getting the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals to fuel our body properly, to help us defend ourselves, you know, and to boost energy and all these wonderful things. I mean, that's super important, right? But, you know, immunity is one of hundreds of reasons why we want to be eating healthy, right? So whether it's, you know, improving your energy levels, that's huge. So if you guys are tired all the time, you know, possibly you might be deficient in a vitamin or mineral that these foods can provide for you. So getting your fruits and vegetables in can contribute to better energy levels. It's one of the first things my clients say improve within just the first few weeks, when that's a main focus. You know, just having better concentration, more productivity, it's mood enhancing, better skin. If you guys are active, so if you have an active lifestyle, then you can't out exercise a bad diet. So your eating habits need to line up with what you're working towards internally or aesthetically too. So as you can imagine, there's just so many benefits of really taking your eating habits seriously. So that's really quite helpful and hopefully will add value to trying to prioritize it too. Back to pre-planning and time management, it's easy to get wrapped up in life, you know, and just kind of brush it under the rug. But if you really protect that time to plan for a few staples you just have in your fridge, not overly time consuming, make sure you have healthy snacks on hand, you know, and just stay one step ahead so you can leave for work every day and have a lunch bag full of, you know, healthy food, and do that consistently, because consistency is key. Then you will reap the rewards big time of that. So I think we have about 3 minutes left. So basically, to summarize, guys, so the benefits of healthy eating are, you know, huge, which I just covered. There are misconceptions, so try to get into the mindset of, you know, it's not about having time, it's about making time, right? And seeing the value and why this is so important. Setting some time to meal plan and to food prep once a week or twice a week will help you stay one step ahead all the time, to be consistent and to build, you know, some better habits. And then the tips and tricks in terms of specific food that are really good for you: fruits, veggies, different creative snack options, thinking outside the box, having healthy proteins and starches, and just a few other examples too. I'll list off quick too before we wrap up. So I talked about rice, you know, as a starch, but there's lots of other ones: potatoes, sweet potatoes, quinoa, whole wheat pasta, whole wheat breads are okay in moderation, things like that. Oatmeal is a starch or a good complex carbohydrate option. Protein, you know, trying to stick with leaner protein. So chicken is my staple. Legumes are really good for both carbs and plant-based protein options. So chickpeas, lentils, beans, things like that. Greek yogurt, eggs are great. I talked about the hard-boiled eggs a little bit. And other protein sources. So fish are really good source of protein amongst other nutrients. Beef and pork are okay in moderation. If you guys are all meat eaters, just try not to have beef every day. It's high in saturated fat, so everything in moderation. And in terms of the healthy fats, you know, cheese, nuts and seeds, avocado I mentioned earlier, but just watch those in terms of volume, because they're very calorie dense in comparison to proteins and carbs. And other than that, consistency, moderation, you know, having a good support system, doing maybe a little bit of a work challenge or something like that can be really beneficial. And if you guys have more questions, you know, after today, then you can always shoot me a message. My website is winnipeghealthcoaching.com, but also I'm on social media a lot, posting like free recipes, different like kitchen hacks, and a lot of what I'm talking about today. I have tons of posts about that for food, fitness, even just overall health, but very much nutrition focused. So if you want to check that out online, you can find me at Winnipeg Health Coaching. Or just search up Infinity, and you might be able to get some takeaways there as well. So I think that's a wrap. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to stick around for that. And just want to thank Jeremy and Carol again for making this happen. And I hope you guys had some takeaways today. So thanks so much.